Hello, I'm Kevin Watler, and this is your CMR Daily Buzz. Jude Scott, the former chairman of the Cayman Airways board, did not mince his words in a 4-page resignation letter that was addressed to Minister of Tourism and Transport, the Honorable Kenneth Bryan. The scathing letter outlines multiple reasons why he resigned just 1 year after the chairman role. Ultimately, he felt no real support from the minister and shared that there are critical issues that require his attention. You can read the full resignation letter on our website, caymanmallroad.com. The board of directors at Cayman Finance has announced the appointment of Steve McIntosh as Chief Executive Officer effective from September 1st, 2022. McIntosh's appointment follows a comprehensive and competitive selection process. The chairman of Cayman Finance Board of Directors, Connor O'Day, said Cayman Finance has made tremendous progress to become a highly effective advocate for our financial services industry at home and around the world, thanks to strong leadership, consistent investment from members, and ongoing support from the Cayman Islands government. The Ministry of Education has appointed Elroy Bryan as Deputy Director of Education in the Department of Education Services. Mr. Bryan is a Caymanian educator with more than 22 years' experience in the Cayman Islands education system. Water Authority has announced Levi Superville as this year's recipient of the authority's annual scholarship. Mr. Superville will begin his studies in chemical engineering at McMaster University in Canada this fall. He will participate in the university's co-op program, which provides an enhanced educational experience by alternating between academic study and work terms. The community is asking questions about the availability of emergency services in the Eastern Districts after Sunday's motorbike fatality at Parkhurst Raceway. A misconception is that Health City Cayman Islands does not have the capacity to deal with these types of emergencies. However, CMR has confirmed that Health City has a fully staffed 6-bed emergency room that is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Some staff has shared that the ambulance staff has been prohibited from taking patients to Health City Cayman Islands after an incident some months ago. An email was sent to various HSA employees instructing them that they could be financially responsible for patients that fall under Synico or have not been pre-approved by HSA's managers. The Royal Cayman Islands Police Service has arrested and charged 3 suspected burglars recently. A 48-year-old man of Georgetown was arrested on Saturday in relation to a burglary that took place at a business on Shedden Road in Georgetown. He appeared in court Monday and was remanded until September 6th. On Saturday, August 27th, police responded to a report of a burglary that took place at a business on North Church Street in Georgetown. The officers were provided a description of the burglar and located the suspect a short distance from the scene. The man, who is a 45-year-old Cuban national, appeared in court Monday and was remanded. A third man, aged 22, of Georgetown was arrested on Sunday in relation to 3 separate burglary incidents that took place at a business in Georgetown on August 15th, August 20th, and August 28th. During the last burglary, police arrived at the location while it was in progress, and the suspect fled on their arrival. Officers caught him after a short foot pursuit. Police continue to look for Luisto Eusebio Hernandez in relation to firearm offenses. He is considered armed and dangerous and should not be approached. If seen, call 911 immediately. The search is still on for 2 missing men. 53-year-old Noel Paul Manning has been missing since June 24th, and 26-year-old Adrian Williamson has been missing since July 6th. Now you are asked to contact your nearest police station if you see them. Police say the Cayman Islands Coast Guard was busy over the weekend, responding to 7 incidents. According to a press release, there were 4 instances where vessels were stopped for exceeding 5 knots within 200 yards of the shoreline, 1 marine conservation-related offense where a vessel was found to be fishing within a marine park, 1 drug-related offense following an attempt by the operator of a jet ski to flee from officers, which resulted in the jet ski being recovered and a small amount of ganja recovered, 1 water-related accident involving 2 jet skis in which injuries were sustained by 1 person. The injured person was taken to the Cayman Islands Hospital for treatment for non-life-threatening injuries. In that incident, it does not appear alcohol was a contributing factor, but investigations suggest that one of the operators was riding in a dangerous and unsafe manner. Approximately 150 security officers, cleaners, and other personnel employed by companies contracted by the Department of Education Services to provide services in government schools completed mandatory training in child protection fundamentals recently. They joined more than 1,500 people from educational institutions around the Cayman Islands that have completed the online module since its development in 2021. To learn more or to access the National Child Abuse Neglect Reporting Policy, the National Safe Environment Policy, and the National Staff Safeguarding Policy, visit the Ministry of Education's website. As part of its efforts to enhance the use of technology in public schools, the Ministry of Education has purchased 142 Promethean board display panels for the Cayman Islands government schools. The new boards will be installed throughout the next few months to replace the existing projectors and interactive whiteboards. A Promethean board is an interactive, touch-sensitive whiteboard that allows users to engage with displayed content through a variety of tools and software. Promethean boards are standard features in many classrooms, promoting interactive learning at all grade levels and facilitating creative, flexible lesson instruction for educators. Every year, the Department of Children and Family Services designates individuals in the Cayman Islands community as ambassadors for its Older Persons Month, which is observed in October. For 2022, DCFS invites nominations for 2 ambassadors. Deadlines for nominations is Friday, September 2nd. Visit the DCFS website for more information. The Cayman Islands National Trust has recently been awarded Darwin Plus R10 funding to undertake a 3-year project on Grand Cayman. The funding will assist in preserving endemic threatened wildlife populations. The pressures on Grand Cayman's natural environment remains high, and populations of endemic wildlife are largely restricted to within protected areas. After a year-long hiatus due to COVID-19 restrictions, the Cayman Islands Public Library Service invites all parents, guardians to bring babies from newborns to 2 years old to family rhyme time at the Georgetown Public Library at 10:30 in the morning every Thursday during September. For more information, please contact the Georgetown Public Library at 949-5159. The Cayman Islands put on a strong performance at the recently concluded Caribbean Senior Squash Championships, finishing second with 12 medals and 56 points. Guyana won the overall team title with 64 points. Now for a Storm Ready Cayman update, it's brought to you by Home Gas. 2 of the systems the National Hurricane Center have been monitoring are off the watch list, and 2 remain on the watch list. One is in the Central Tropical Atlantic and the other is in the Eastern Tropical Atlantic. Both of the systems can strengthen enough to become named storms over the next few days. The next 2 names on the list are Danielle and Earl. The low pressure system in the Central Tropical Atlantic is several hundred miles east of the Lesser Antilles, and in case you have challenges with your geography, that's where the US and British Virgin Islands, Anguilla, St. Martin, Montserrat, and a few other islands are located. The low pressure system in the Eastern Tropical Atlantic is located off the west coast of Africa. Now, some gradual development of this system is possible, and the system could become a short-lived tropical depression over the far eastern Atlantic during the next few days. The good news is by late this week, environmental conditions are forecast to become increasingly unfavorable for further development of this system. We are now entering the time of year the tropics tend to get busier, so be storm ready, Cayman. These updates are made possible thanks to Home Gas. Now for your CMR weather update, it's brought to you by WG Charters. Sunrise at 6:10, partly cloudy to cloudy skies with scattered thunderstorms. The temperature rises to the mid-80s, but it will feel hotter than that when the high temperature is at 85 degrees Fahrenheit and the relative humidity is at 76% like the forecast calls for. The temperature will feel like it's in the high 90s. Winds southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour and the sun sets at 6:42. At nighttime, the temperature falls to the low 80s. Looking forward, conditions will improve with less shower activity for the next couple days. However, Friday and Saturday, the chance of a shower does increase again. So the summertime, those hot days, warm nights, and scattered showers are very typical for this time of year. CMR weather updates are brought to you by WG Charters. They offer private boat trips for a great price, and we encourage you to support them. Now for some regional and international news. 75 people have died and 59 have been injured in Pakistan over the last 24 hours due to severe weather further devastating a country that's experiencing historic rain and flooding, according to the country's National Disaster Management Authority. About 1/3 of Pakistan is underwater. The country's federal minister for climate change said that Pakistan is experiencing a climate catastrophe. Jamaica has confirmed its 5th case of monkeypox. This case was confirmed last week. The positive case is a man from Kingston and St. Andrew, the first case reported outside rural Jamaica. The other 4 confirmed cases were reported in parishes of Clarendon, St. Elizabeth, and St. James. The health authorities also announced that this is Jamaica's 3rd locally transmitted monkeypox case, meaning the person had no recent travel history and is not linked to any of the previous cases. Meanwhile, Guyana has recorded a 2nd case of monkeypox virus. Last week, Guyana became the latest Caribbean Community CARICOM country to report a case of the monkeypox virus after a 57-year-old man tested positive for it. Media reports are suggesting that the second infected person is a woman in her 30s and she has no recent travel history. The nursing complement of the Northern Regional Hospital in Belize walked out of the hospital 2 days after fellow nurses at the Southern Regional Hospital did the same. Some of the nurses carried placards calling for better working conditions, more medical supplies and medication, and to be fair to those who care. They also cited concerns over inadequate compensation for overtime work. They are now in talks with the Ministry of Health to try to rectify the situation. Portugal's health minister has resigned hours after reports emerged that a pregnant tourist had died after being turned away from a full maternity ward. The 34-year-old Indian woman reportedly suffered a cardiac arrest while being transferred between hospitals. It follows a string of incidents this summer that critics blame on a staffing crisis across Portuguese natal units. Dr. Martha Temido had been the health minister since 2018 and is credited with steering Portugal through COVID-19. A vegan woman convicted of murder in the malnutrition death of her young son was sentenced Monday to life in prison. 38-year-old Sheila O'Leary, whose family followed a strict vegan diet, was convicted in June on 6 charges: first-degree murder, aggravated child abuse, aggravated manslaughter, child abuse, and 2 counts of child neglect in the death of Ezra O'Leary. The Cape Coral, Florida couple had 2 other children, ages 3 and 5, who were also malnourished, investigators said. A 4th child had been returned to her biological father during an earlier malnutrition case in Virginia, court records show. The Trinidad and Tobago and Jamaican governments warned that the greatest threat to national security in their respective countries is the illegal flow of arms and ammunition organized not by stupid people. Jamaica has recorded close to 1,000 murders since the year began. In Trinidad and Tobago, 87% of the killings for the year so far were a result of gun violence. Police have seized more than 400 firearms in Trinidad for the year so far and charged over 1,000 people for gun-related offenses. A 29-year-old teacher from Manchester, Jamaica has been charged with the rape of an 11-year-old girl. Miguel Spoon Griffiths was arrested by detectives assigned to the Center for the Investigation of Sexual Offenses and Child Abuse. Police reports are that Griffiths sent photographs and videos of his genitals to the child. He later met the girl in Newport District, where he sexually assaulted and raped her. He has been also charged with grievous sexual assault and obscene publication following the incidents that allegedly occurred between December 2021 and June 2022. That's it for now on the Daily Buzz. Thank you for joining me. Please stay safe and God bless.